Hey, what's up everybody? It's LeeLos, and today we're talking about the legendary greatness of Enies Lobby. Stay steady in the pursuit of your dreams and goals. You're born to win, you're made for greatness, and I definitely believe in you guys. Keep up the great work each and every day. So this arc starts off with the formation of the first alliance the Straw Hats ever take part in, an alliance between the remaining top 3 members of LeeLos, Frankie's crew of chumps, and the Straw Hats. They're all on their way to Enies Lobby for different reasons, but they all share the CP9 as a common enemy, so they team up. Luffy could tell Lucy was the strongest member of CP9 even without seeing the other members fight. Frankie and Chopper referenced this later in the arc, saying that Luffy has great intuition, but rereading this arc made me wonder if Luffy was actually subconsciously using observation haki here, similar to what Usopp did in Dressrosa or how Kobe unlocked haki in Marineford. Zoro and Luffy give a big wave, a big slap. Luffy gives Sanji permission to fight the CP9 on his own before the rest of the crew gets there, and honestly, seeing the crew members respect Luffy as a captain here is a nice contrast to the sad darkness of Usopp recently rage quitting the crew. Oda reveals in an SBS that Kokoro and Tom are both from Fishman Island, and there are some theories that Tom might have been a sun pirate as well. It would explain why Tom was so big boy strong. Sogeking joins the story. Basically, Sogeking is Usopp with more confidence in himself, and this confident Usopp pulls off some very impressive feats in Enies Lobby, giving more proof that Usopp's actually not that weak. It's just his low self-image holds him back, and honestly it might be slowing down his development of haki as well. Sogeking's mask most likely comes from the Marines who picked up souvenirs from Water 7. Sanji states that the Marines in cars number 6 and 7 had masks and disguises on board with them. Also at the start of Water 7, Robin mentions that there's a lot of people wearing masks and that there was a costume festival being held on a nearby island. Zoro says that Captain T-Bone is fierce, but Zoro one-shots T-Bone anyway because Zoro's just built like that. Sanji reveals he actually intentionally makes himself weaker because of his honor code. His skill with knives is so proficient that he actually has legitimate high-level knife combat techniques, but he just chooses to never use them in his fights because he views knives as sacred cooking tools the same way he views his hands. His knife skills are at such a high level that he instantly low-diffed Wanze's most powerful form the moment he started using them, and Wanze was stated by the Marines to be stronger than T-Bone, and T-Bone was so strong that Zoro acknowledged his ferocity. So putting it into perspective, at this point in the series, if Sanji actually regularly used knives in combat, he might be capable of low-diffing characters that even Zoro considered fierce opponents. That's some interesting Sanji power scaling stuff, and this is the closest in power Sanji and Zoro have been with one another up until now in the series, and you could honestly make a debate for this fight going either way and make very good arguments for either character winning. Let me know in the comments if you guys would like a video on that, by the way. And my stance on Zoro versus Sanji right now, I can also make a video on that for like current arc Sanji versus Zoro, but basically it's like whoever is the better debater will win that argument. Sanji's the first Straw Hat to damage a CP9 member while they're using Tech-Eye, so I'll be honest with you guys, the Straw Hats all get pretty big power-ups in between Water 7 and Enies Lobby. The power-ups are clearly objectively happening, but the reasons for the power-ups are very vague, and Oda never gives one specific clear-cut answer for why the Straw Hats got so much stronger, so you have to use context clues to figure it out, and honestly, it's a debatable topic. The simplest way to explain the power-ups is the following. The Straw Hats were holding back to some extent in their first fight against CP9, but in their second fight with CP9, they're going all out. And on top of that, they have a rage amp increasing their power. Basically, they're a little bit stronger than normal because they're angry, and they all develop new techniques in their own ways. Zoro developed new techniques through training. Luffy developed new techniques by thinking of them in his free time after losing to Aokiji. Sanji either did the same thing as Luffy, or he created a new technique on the spot while fighting Jabra, and Nami received upgraded technology weapons from Usopp. The rage amping their power is confirmed by Kaku as well, when Zoro states he's more powerful this time than he was in their first fight, and Kaku agrees with Zoro and replies saying that he senses Zoro is consumed with anger. So this is the easiest, friendliest answer to the power increase without having to debate ideas. This would also explain why Sanji was able to hurt Blueno while Zoro and Luffy weren't. You could just say that in their first fight with CP9, Sanji was holding back the least, and he also used one of his stronger techniques while Luffy and Zoro were using more basic ones. A more debatable theory for explaining this power-up is that the haki of the Straw Hats has gotten stronger from the Straw Hats surviving extreme battles, and that the Straw Hats have been receiving haki blooms all throughout pre-time skip even before any of them knew how to use haki. Supporting evidence being Blackbeard saying that Luffy's haki in Impel Down was stronger than Luffy's haki back in Jaya. Luffy didn't even know what haki was at this point, yet his haki was still getting stronger. Since Luffy's haki is getting stronger without him knowing how to use his haki yet, the same could apply to the rest of the Straw Hats. This would also explain Zoro's claim of the Straw Hats getting stronger every time they go to a new island. Zoro could have just been referring to their haki blooms without realizing what haki was. The debatable part of this theory is the following. Does increasing the strength of your haki increase the strength of your physical body as well, even when you're not using haki? I personally lean more towards yes, it does, but like I said, that's a debatable topic. The Straw Hats reach Enies Lobby, and Oda has Polly draw a map to show us what the different areas of Enies Lobby look like. The Marines at Enies Lobby have two giants as soldiers protecting one of the gates. Turns out these giants are from Elbaf, and they're actually part of Dory and Bragi's crew from 100 years ago. Nearly every single character Oda includes in the story is important. Sometimes it just takes a few years to realize how important a character actually is. The Frankie family and the top 3 members of the LeeLos fight the giants and are actually able to defeat one of them, showing once again that the LeeLos characters are actually pretty strong. Oda introduces an actual power level system into One Piece, but then decides to never use it again. Honestly, I'm very happy about that because power levels take a lot of fun out of power scaling. These power levels in One Piece are implied to not measure Devil Fruit abilities at all, meaning Jabra versus Kaku is actually a pretty fun fight to debate, like in terms of which one's more powerful. Kaku has a slightly higher power level, but Jabra's Devil Fruit gives him a more noticeable power increase, and Kaku was still brand new to using his Devil Fruit, so I mean the fight between the two of them is honestly really debatable. When you observe the fights Sanji and Zoro had against Kaku and Jabra, it gives you more insight onto why a Sanji versus Zoro battle would be an extreme difficulty fight. It would be very, very close because Sanji and Zoro both do similarly well against opponents with nearly equal power levels in this arc. There's also a small piece of dialogue here where Jabra says that devil fruits are rumored to have devils inside of them. This rumor could actually be true, as in recent chapters it's revealed that some mythical zone fruits have wills of their own and that they could actually possibly choose who eats them, the same way that swords choose their masters in One Piece. Luffy defeats more than 1,000 members of the Marines single-handedly. This scene to me gives off Goku versus Red Ribbon Army vibes, and I love that a lot, to be honest. Immediately after this, Luffy fights Blueno. During this fight, Blueno confirms that even in base form, Luffy is much stronger than he was in their first fight, and he even says that Luffy's able to match him in speed and power. Luffy then reveals Gear 2nd, and that changes the series forever. It's Luffy's first serious transformation, and with Gear 2nd and Gear 3 together, Luffy has put a solid tier above Zoro and Sanji in terms of power. From Skypiea until now, Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy were all pretty relative and all were about in the same tier, but Gear 2 and Gear 3 puts Luffy solidly a tier above both of them. Luffy tosses Blueno around like trash, then all the Straw Hats reunite for one of the most iconic moments in One Piece, which I'll cover in the next video. But yeah guys, that was everything I wanted to say in this video. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry this video came out a little bit late, dude. My goal has been to get these videos out like every weekend, but this one, it looks like it's going to be out either Tuesday or Wednesday, so still learning how to get better at that, but to make up for it, we're going to have a second video posted this weekend. So yeah, stay steady in the pursuit of your dreams and goals, guys. I'm excited for the next videos coming up. It's either going to be the Greatness of Enies Lobby Explained Part 2, or I'll do like the rest of the Ace versus Blackbeard fight. Not sure which one of those I'll do first, but yeah, a lot of awesome stuff's happening. I'm excited to keep moving forward in this reread of One Piece, and I'm really excited to get into Impel Down and Marineford, because after I finish Marineford, it'll make it possible for me to do a lot more power scaling videos that I have in mind. So I'm excited about it, guys. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this video. Let me know what video you guys would like to see next. Thank you guys for watching, and you have a great rest of your day.